Hello, my name is Kate Wexell and welcome to another college content video. If you'd like to learn more about the college process, then please take a look at my college information playlist. You can also like this video and subscribe to learn more. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about this lovely thing called the CSS Profile. Now, if you are a senior in high school, your guidance counselor or school officials have probably talked to you about the FAFSA, or the Federal Aid Form. So basically, every single college or university will require you to fill out the FAFSA if you want to receive any kind of financial aid. And this is basically because that is aid that the government is going to be giving you, or saying that you're eligible for from either the state or the institution that you're at, based on your income level. So you'll have to insert all sorts of information like your family's income, your assets, property, basically everything financial that you could possibly imagine. Like, imagine doing your taxes just to determine whether or not you can pay for college. It's pretty messed up. Well, anyway, what your school guidance counselor probably didn't tell you is that there is another form called the CSS Profile. Of course, they probably don't tell you this because there are very few kids, especially if you are going to a public high school like I am, that are wanting to attend a private school. And so they just kind of casually leave that out. So, if you're like me, and you ended up applying to like 12, I think, private institutions like I did, then you will be in that same sorry state that I was, where about 2 weeks before financial aid deadlines happened, I got that lovely email that all of the colleges send out saying, here is your checklist of things to do. Congratulations, you submitted your FAFSA, but have you submitted your CSS profile yet? So then you're thinking, what is the CSS profile? Why did I never hear about this, like, literally ever before? So, if you click on their lovely links to go to the CSS profile, it will of course take you to College Board. So College Board is already making millions of dollars off of basically every student in the United States and in many other nations taking the SAT every year and trying very, very hard to get a good score. Now, they are also getting money for you trying to apply for financial aid. Yes, you heard that correctly. You now have to go through a private company to apply for financial aid. So, basically, what the CSS profile does is it's for private universities within the United States. And so since the FAFSA is only for federal aid, the CSS profile helps the university or college determine how much money they need to give you, since they are not funded by the government and they're instead funded by like their billions of dollars in their endowment funds from alumni. Basically, it'll have you fill out all of the same information as the FAFSA, except for now you have to be even more specific than you were before. So there were some additional questions that some specific colleges or institutions were asking me. And so I know one question that was particularly troubling to me was they wanted to know the make, model, and year of my parents' vehicles. They also do ask you about debt, which the FAFSA completely leaves out, or at least it did in my experience. So it'll be a little bit more thorough. But then, whenever you get to the end, here is the real kicker of what makes it different from the FAFSA, apart from the other things that I just talked about. So it will then say, at the very end, they don't tell you beforehand, but at the very end it says, alright, it's about, I think, $25 for your first send, and then $15 for every institution that you want to send it to after that. So if you're one of those kids who's trying to apply to like every Ivy League school, I was not one of those people, but if you are, or if you're one of those people who applied to like 25 schools, maxed out your Common App, I've met a few of those kids, and like 24 of those schools were private schools, you can expect to be paying a small fortune. And so I personally disagree with this practice. It's basically requiring you to pay a fee, like pay money, to tell these schools that you need money to pay. So, I will say there is a loophole with paying in some instances. So I went through, I had selected maybe like the 6 or 7 institutions that I was like, okay, these are probably my top choices out of the 15 schools I applied to. So I sent that off. My parents put a cap on how much money they were willing to pay to send the CSS profile. But then, after the financial aid deadlines pass, it's not really passed yet. And so schools will start to send you the emails saying, hey, you've not turned in your CSS profile. This deadline has come and gone. We really need your information. So what I did was I sent an email to every single one of those schools saying, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Your school is so amazing. It's totally my top choice. Unfortunately, my guidance counselor never told me what the CSS profile was. I didn't realize that it existed until after I had applied to your institution. And then my parents don't believe in the morality of having to pay money to apply for money. And guess what? If you throw your parents under the bus, whether it's true or not, and then you say, look, I can send you all the documentation that you need, I can send you directly the PDFs with my parents' W-2s on it, they're 1040, I can literally screenshot the CSS profile and send it to you, then probably 90% of the schools will say, no, sorry, we need the CSS profile. But let me tell you, I had a few very, very prestigious institutions give me a fee waiver, even though I do not qualify for one. So that is how you can go through the loophole of the bureaucratic college board and cheat their system. Now, what will happen after you submit the CSS profile is, in a lot of cases, they will require you to also submit this thing called the IDOC. So IDOC stands for Institutional Documentation Service. Basically, this is a private service that you can send different documents to them for. So even though they have your FAFSA and your CSS profile, and it has like literally any piece of financial information they ever wanted to know about you, they now need confirmation where you have to directly upload your parents' W-2s, your parents' 1040 from their taxes, and then in a lot of cases, your own W-2, or if you don't have one, then a non-filer statement from you. And so this is a pain, but it must be done. Anyway, after that's finished, you are completely done with that process. You can look at your financial aid checklist on your college application portals, and you can say, whew, all right, that is off my chest, and the school will be happy with you, and you don't have to worry about your application anymore. It is completely done after that. Anyway, I hope that this video was helpful. If you'd like to learn more about the college process, then you can take a look at my college playlist. Anyway, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, then please leave them down below in the comments section. I hope to see you in the next video.